and welcome to another edition of the One Kindred, One Business Initiative series, the OKOBI series, brought to you by the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State Government. My name is Kenneth Amechi, and I'm a professor of business and sustainable development at the University of Edinburgh in the UK. I also hold a chair in sustainable finance at the European University Institute in Florence, Italy, and I'm the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State Government. So it's our pleasure to welcome you to today's event or webinar, which is very topical. As we know, the government, the governor, Senator Hope Uzodimma, about 10 days ago, or precisely on the 5th of August this year, announced that the One Kindred, One Business initiative will be recommended to different communities in Imo State. Since then, we have been receiving a lot of calls on how the program or the initiative will run. So today we brought together experts who will guide us and talk us through what we need to do to ensure that our communities are not left out. I'll be co-moderating this with Professor Jude Nzako, and I invite him to say hello to you.
Thank you, Prof. Hello, viewers, panelists. My name is Professor Jude Nzako. I'm the Director General for Imo State Investment Promotion Agency. As the moderator earlier said, today is promised to be a very interesting day. Discussions today will center on how OKOBI is run and how it's going to work. I invite you to sit back and enjoy, participate and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. And for those who don't know OKOBI, the One Kindred, One Business initiative, here is the OKOBI message as an introduction to the session.
Susie, name I hope some. What taking with alone? No, your company. You see one name, Mbadu do. Oh, you call your company with her. Eh, Horom Namuke, Wakoro OKOBI. And like OKOBI, they go to Penyamazo. I will shele mania. I won't train your maka. Yabuni no be mako OKOBI. Ngwagente. OKOBI what matter my government he were. Iji kochapo biam na pundi madisi agara. OKOBI get kill puto hiroro. Makagio, Makon Hobodo Guinea, Nani le Arianya Buruburu get Jeputan no. Bula gị na ụmụnne na ụmụnna gị ndị enyi ma ọ bụ ndị obodo gị nwere ike ịgbakọta aka mee mepụta ya mma dịka ịzụ ọkụkọ, azụ, oke bekee, ịkọ pineapple, ịsụ mmanụ nkwụ ma ọ bụ mmanụ aṅụ na ọtụtụ ihe ndị ọzọ dị iche iche. Unu hazichi usoro eji eme ya ka ọ bụrụ ihe ga-amịpụta ego. Unu agbapụzie ya ọsọ ga-akpọtụrụ onye ji ọkwa Chief Economic Advisor n'ọchịchị steeti Imo. Ọ ga-agbazi unu olu nye unu ntụziaka hazie ụkpụrụ a ga-eji mee ya ka ọ kwụsị ike ma mịta ezi mkpụrụ. Ọ ga-enyekwa aka n'ikewapụta ohere ọrụ ndị na-achọ ọrụ n'obodo. Ikonye m akara ekwentị ha ka mkpụ ahụ ozugbo. Ngwa were ihe dedata ya 07013512035 07013512035 ma ọ bụ 09114360076 09114360076. Ịkpọrọ ha ị ga-enweta ọsịsa maka ihe niile gbasara OKOBI. OKOBI wa atụmatụ bụ ịgba Shared Prosperity Government nke Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma. OKOBI, ụmụnna wike, ọwụ ha agha.
Okay, great. So let me invite Mrs. Adeze Nwaka from the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State Government to talk us through the steps involved. So onye chọrọ ibido OKOBI, that's One Kindred, One Business, now his or her village. Adeze will be able to explain the steps required. Because sometimes we get queries around how can we start this in our community. So Adeze, please do your best to see if you can explain the steps to our audience.
Thank you very much, Prof. Welcome everyone to this webinar today. So I will be explaining the steps to setting up an OKOBI business in 7 ways. And I will be speaking both English and Igbo so that everybody can understand what I'm saying. The first step will be needs assessment. So there, I would explain that one in two ways. The first way will be through identifying their economic needs. Everybody mana onye ọbụla chọrọ inwe ụlọ, nwee nri, nwee ihe ọ ga-eyi. That is the basic need of food, shelter, and clothing, which is the economic needs. Then the other type of need will be what is lacking within that locality or the need you want to address, which will form the basis for your setting up the business. For example, in some communities, you will realize that there are no bakeries, there are no pure water factories, all those things can be scarce. So when your need assessment is looking at addressing a current condition and maybe using it to create a desired condition, that becomes the gap. The need becomes the gap with which anybody can set up their own business. The next step, the second step, is the solution identification. How do we address the needs that we have identified? While some people will look up to their relatives for support for their economic needs, other people might want to venture into entrepreneurship, which is what we are talking about and what we are trying to encourage. So while we also identify that entrepreneurship, we say, how profitable can it be? How viable will it be? So if we are going to set up a pure water factory, the needs of the community, we need to create that solution to the needs that we have identified. And while we make those choices, we look at the viability of those choices and how scalable they are. The third step will be confirmation of passion and capacity before you set up any business, before you venture into any business. Like that thing. Are you excited about that business? Made this bakery and pay now. I'd be happy with it. Do we have what it takes? Do we have the capacity? Do we have the passion to do it? To do that business and find excitement in it. Because when the chips are down in business, what keeps us going will be the drive and the passion. So it's very important to be passionate about any business that anybody wants to set up. After that, you now look at the governance structures. How do we want this business to be run? Actually run that business as a cooperative or as a limited liability company. When you look at being that business coming in as a cooperative, you now decide who takes the lead, what each of the group members brings to the table, how each of them will function in that business. Because if we're able to create that governance structure, it's going to keep our business very structured and it will help us to help that business to function better and as expected. After that governance structure, we now talk about the formalization of that business. We now talk about the registration. Either you register it with the CAC or you register it as a cooperative, whichever one you decide to do, you formalize it and also identify. If you're identifying your business as an OKOBI business, definitely the OKOBI team of the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor will be aware of it, because all the businesses that are registered under us are known by us, and we also offer them the help as much as we can. After that, the next step, which is the step 6, will be the funding of this business, where you now think of how we are going to fund the business. Are you going to do it by contribution by the members? Will that contribution be enough to set up the business that you want to set up? Or are you going to look for funds externally through banks, by loans, by grants? Whatever funding method you want to adopt, that comes under the 6th step. Then the last step, but not the least, will be the hand holding, where you think of the kind of help and support that you'll be needing from people. Are you going to need this help from professionals, consultants, from bankers who will advise you on the kind of account to run? Or are you going to need this help from experts in your field? What kind of hand-holding you need? And that is also where our office comes in. In fact, our office can actually help you in all these steps, but the hand-holding aspect is that 7th step is also where we feature in prominently. We can can actually signpost you to people that can advise you, that can assist you in all the steps that we have that have been that are aforementioned. So these are the 7 steps that you can use or you can consider while setting up an OKOBI business. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you, Adeze. But can you help one of the criteria if somebody wants to start an OKOBI business? Again, one of the criteria how they meet, right? So before they go into starting it, so the different steps you mentioned, starting from identifying needs, because what you're trying to say in essence is that OKOBI is a business, or our meeting or whatever, right? So, and when 5 criteria or so they need to meet in order to qualify. So do you want to explain those as well?
Yes, the 5 criteria will be that the first of all will be it's a group business or an individual owned business. You must be more than 3 to 10 or to how many people that you want to be. Then the business will be profit oriented. It has to make profit. It has to be built in such a way that it's going to make profit. The next one will be the business has to create employment. The intention for OKOBI is to make sure that as many people as we can get employed, gainfully employed as that. Then the next step will be that the business will also be domiciled in Owerri, in Imo State, sorry. Because it's the initiative of the Imo State government, the OKOBI business has to be domiciled in Imo State. These are the steps.
Oh, and the other one, NOGA, they registered, right? I think you mentioned that one too.
Registered as a cooperative and identified as an OKOBI business. Thank you.
Yes, it might be as a cooperative or other forms. I think that's why we are here today also to talk about the different forms some of these businesses can take. So thank you. I think they still stay on the line in case and when they choose you. So if you want to reach us, the number is 0911 436 0076. So the number again is 0911 436 0076. So Gichiju Ajuju Boani Kanyumike Zaga Jugi is a live program, so you can call us now and we take your message. But let me bring in Barrister Nnadozie Ohaji to talk us through the possible options if I want to register a business today. It doesn't necessarily need to be a cooperative because some people might think OKOBI will for cooperatives. No, cooperative is just one way of doing it. Barrister Ohaji, and when also people get used to open their businesses. So what are the other options for them?
Thank you, Prof. And I'd like to welcome everybody that has tuned in. Beyond e-register business as cooperative, e-register as either a limited liability company or a business name. Since always, to qualify, the business has to be profit-oriented. These are the 2 modes of registering a profit-oriented business in Nigeria, at least at this scale. So we can a business name, more limited liability company, and then the distinction between these 2, one is not as formal as the other. The requirements, both legal and documentary, the one they're a bit less than the other. And then the difference, one only register business name. Business or they can instead they will Prof, you will like I'm user instead they will Kenneth Ameshi when a shop na corner. It was Kenneth and Brothers or Kenneth Enterprises. So that again and the matter na azụ ahịa. Morgan and the mother name a business. There will be a bit of a corporate outlook. Hey, Leleganya Marana, is step up. It was a business, you are trying to make efforts to ensure that the business has some structure. So much so that in Ghana Bank, her enterprise may have account. Gị na ndị mmadụ na-azụkọ ahịa ị nwere ike ji ya mee letterhead gị ma invoice gị ma ọ bụ ihe ọbụla.
Okay, this particular one in the Kuna business name, let's assume my group should create a business. I am the model 10. Are we still allowed to use a business name? And if we are to use a business name, we can give an example of what. Let's assume even a kindred wants to register an OKOBI business, but using a business name. Are they possible?
Okay, well, so normally business name, the number of people they are eligible for business name are usually 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure up to 10 people can register a business name.
Okay,
usually,
so Oga work for
in
the way I need to check it.
Exactly. Oga work chama and the madu bazuos.
Okay.
So one major drawback was our business name and the OKOBI initiative.
Okay, but stay there. I mean, Professor Jude Nzako wants to say something. Prof, I want to hear you. Yeah.
Yes. The barrister Uzoma, the business name. Okay, not barrister Obioma.
Yes, barrister Haji. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Business name like who came like a partnership because about business name, I understand Ofonye is for sole traders. So you know, mega business. More register na hage papa ya na mwe mrekitiri aka. But came like a one partnership where up to 10 people when you came back together, so actually in my OKOBI business. Hey, register our partnership. Or what do possible?
So, business name na Corporate Affairs Commission. We can carry out to Prof. However, although here partnership, I think usually people attend towards as cooperative. My career, when there are quite a few people, maybe 10, 12 and above, the tendency for people to register it as a cooperative. And in this case, our Corporate Affairs Commission, or you register a cooperative usually is done at the state and the local government level, but not governed by the Corporate Affairs Commission. Otherwise, Oga register as a collective, register as a limited liability company.
Okay, so I want to go to CAC to register. So there are two
the Corporate Affairs Commission, and you have certificates in the Corporate Affairs Commission, etc.
Okay, that's fine. Prof, okay, you brought your down. So Lady Blessing Waoba, you own a microfinance bank. Because Kelekwenda na hamege here. Can you draw the sort of things we na in terms of business registration for Ndega or the customers or clients you work with? Okay, while you're trying to do that, let me invite Barrister Obioma. How does it work for cooperative?
Well, good morning, listeners and people of Imo State. The issue of registration, if I understand it as such,
barrister.
issue of registration as regards is something that we will always welcome 10 persons. The Department of Cooperatives at the state level with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry will always welcome 10 persons who have like minds, who have already identified the type of business they want to go into to come for registration. We encourage such people to visit the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, the Department of Cooperatives, where they will
Barrister, can you come closer to your phone, please?
Where they will be issued with necessary requirements as per the form to be filled. They will be guided by the cooperative inspectors or the director of cooperatives. All those officers who work with the department on how to fill in the forms, return them for assessment and for registration. For the 10 persons, they must have like minds, and they must be able to identify the type of business they want to go into. When it comes to the as per the
Barrister, sorry, we are really struggling. Maybe we'll come back to you. I let me sort out the microphone issue here. Lady B, please, do you want to introduce yourself and speak to our audience?
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you, Prof. My name is Lady Blessed Moba. I'm the CEO, Imo State Microfinance Bank. By the grace of God, we are the official bankers to OKOBI business. And I must congratulate the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor for the success of OKOBI so far, and the Governor of Imo State, who has given his approval for this people-friendly policy, which I know that it will help the unemployment situation of Imo State. Then as bankers, what we do, I will suggest, because I've been listening to the conversation, and when it comes to business name registration, because of the nature of this business, I will advise that we recommend a cooperative registration, because it's going to involve a whole number of people. Then we at the bank, what we will do is, when we look at the papers, we will do what we call corporate search, check the authenticity of the papers, and then we will have to run an account. Usually we look at the owners of the companies, unveil them individually, get their BVN, so that we can, check their banking transactions and how they have been faring in other banks. So that's what we basically do. Then sorry?
No, continue, please.
Yeah, for the financing aspects, everything now depends on what the government wants us to do. For us to disburse funds to people who have been pre-qualified for the OKOBI, it means that we have to appraise the people, appraise the business to know whether the business can repay itself. We have to also do our own due diligence and make sure that we structure the facilities in such a way that the customers can pay back as at when due. Because for OKOBI to succeed, it means that only ego we can then another person we can the money. So
Okay, I mean, as a microfinance bank, related to small businesses or group-owned businesses before the OKOBI. Anyway, so maybe if you can speak to the kind of generic way of engaging with businesses and the products and services so that somebody listening to us may say, okay, I'm interested in what you're offering as a microfinance bank, and this is how we can approach you to support us as a group-owned business.
Okay, thank you. The purpose of microfinance bank generally is to reach the unbanked, to realize the objective of financial inclusion. Because somewhere some people ordinarily they want what it takes to go to a normal bank to do business. Manahabia to microfinance bank, we make banking very easy for such people by taking minimal documentation, coming down to our cost to their level, depending on how low, no matter how low the customers are, So, and then we offer loans to customers as low as 50,000 naira, 20,000 naira, depending on the customer's needs. And we also help to guide them on the usage and the, how to pay back and all that. Some customers that started with us long ago, when we as far back as 2014. By now, some of them are grown because we grow with our customers. Maybe when they take 50,000 today, the next day they are taking 100,000. Before you know it, they qualify to be taking loans in millions. That's basically what
experience of working with cooperatives or group-owned businesses, because maybe you deal with individuals or small businesses, but do you have experience of working with groups? Or
yes, we have a lot of customers in that. We have over 20,000 customers made up of groups, cooperatives, churches, clubs, people, small businesses that we have supported, So we can give loans, basically, as we are now, we can give loans as much as 5 million naira. That's our SEGO obligor limit to one customer.
So a community now, let's assume now my community, when a business has set you up, and let's assume now they're into buying and selling of palm oil. Yes. Maybe they require 3 million, 4 million to start. Is this something your bank can support them with, or you want them to be an existing business before you can support them?
It depends. We support startups. We also support existing businesses. Like I said, we are professionals. There are things we look out for. When we get applications like that, we will analyze the request based on so many factors. So it's not a one jacket thing, you understand? So there's no business that is the same with the other. So it's when we analyze the business, we now know whether it's something we can do or not. There are businesses that we can support as startups. Then there are also businesses that will insist now go their experience before we can deal. So everything depends on the character of the owners. It also depends on maybe who is guaranteeing the facility and so many other factors. And also we look at, in the bank, we also look at history.
Okay, that's fine. I think the question, some people listening to us now might be thinking of, okay, their business may require 3 million, 5 million, and they want to start an OKOBI business. So they can as well approach your bank. That's what they are saying in essence. You can say, come to us, let's look at your ideas.
Yes, sorry? That's basically what we do. Is our business. Yes.
So let's look at your ideas, and if there are things we can support, fine. Otherwise, we give you the criteria or even help you to meet those criteria, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Professor Jude wants to come in.
Okay.
Prof, over to you. Okay, but before he comes, is it possible to share your contact details or the details of if they want to contact your bank? One, a bank, and are there ways they can contact you?
Yes, right now I'm Imo State Microfinance Bank. We have 2 offices in Imo State. One is our head office, number 2, Bank Road, Owerri, very close to the government house. Then the other branch I'm in Aba branch, Ehime. So that's our second branch. But this OKOBI business, we are going to treat this as a special project. You know, when we start, we are going to take the bank to the customers. We won't even wait for them to come to Owerri to do business. So we'll fashion it in such a way that those that are pre-qualified, we can go to their location and open their accounts, do whatever they want us to do to make them happy. We really want to support the government.
Yeah, that's a good idea, but it doesn't stop anyone now who wants to approach you anyway to say, okay, I have this idea, right?
Exactly.
And when the government makes her support clear, then we can fashion out what it means for us and for the microfinance bank or any other financial institution that will be involved. But at the moment, with the opportunities, there are other ways of funding your OKOBI business. Government support may be one, but it doesn't stop you from exploring other options. And if the microfinance bank already has products and services that can meet their needs, why not? But Prof, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. Lady B, thank you for appearing. Thank you for appearing with us today. Now,
thank you.
You know, some of us OKOBI members are poor people, but I heard you speak slightly there about collateral. So what sort of collateral would you be looking for from borrowers that approach you?
You know, as it is now, as a bank, we don't take collateral from customers that are borrowing anything less than 500,000. So once it's above 500,000, that's when we now start talking about collateral, guarantors, and all that. So we are very flexible. So it depends on the business we are doing. For example, okay, let me just give you a typical example. A customer wants to run a laundry business, and then he doesn't have collateral. So most times that's what happens. So what we can do, if we get the type of machines they need, we will buy those access for them. They will pay the access to the bank. After paying for the facility, we now transfer the ownership to the customer. That way, making it easy for the customer. So the same way, if it's an OKOBI business and maybe the customer is looking for 5 million or 10 million and doesn't have a collateral, we can still work around it. We can pay for some of the machineries or machines that they need for the business, so that what we are giving the customer is just working capital, which will not be too much for us to, to give out without collateral. I don't know if I'm communicating.
Yes, you did, indeed. That's good. I like that. So what's the interest rate? I mean, most people are concerned about high rates charged by commercial banks. So what's the interest rate that you charge for this 500,000?
Our interest rate is another thing. It's very flexible, and it's controlled by the CBN. So sometimes when it has to do with agricultural business, they will ask us to come as low as maybe 2.5% or 2%. But if it is ordinary, well, depending on the risk, we have to assess the risk of the business. We can go as high as 3.54%. Everything depends on the kind of
business. Is this per annum or per month?
No, per month. We charge our business per month. It's per month. Yes.
Okay. Now this 500,000 you can give without collateral. What exactly would you require from customers apart from collateral? What other information, documentation would you require from them?
Okay. Let's say, okay, somebody wants a loan of 500,000.
That is correct.
So the person, first of all, of course, have an account with us. That's the basic thing. Then you can use the person's goods as that's pledge of assets of the person. And then they give us post-dated checks. I think that's that. We can just give out the 500. But we usually visit the customer to verify where the business is located. You know, sometimes customers can be funny. They will tell you that they're doing business at a social place. When you get there, you don't see anything there. So those are the kind of things we look out for. But it's as simple as you can get loans from us within 24 to 48 hours. We make it as simple as possible. Okay, then again, we may want sometimes we may want the customer to do what we call equity contribution. Maybe 10%, 15%, just to demonstrate good faith that you also have interest in the business we are financing. Let it not be that no ego bank and non the business, you know, something like that. Sometimes we do that.
Yeah, and the payback period, how long to pay back?
And it's also negotiable. Sometimes 6 months, something like we deal mostly with traders here. The trader can just walk in. He needs that money for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. It depends. Some can be as up to two years. That's 24 months. I think that's the highest we can do for now. But then for OKOBI, I'm still looking at OKOBI as a special project that all of us can, you know, sit down and discuss. Yes, how it will be beneficial to the people, you know, so that they will be happy with the product.
Okay.
No. Thank you very much, Prof.
Okay, thank you. And if you are just joining us, this is the One Kindred, One Business Initiative series brought to you by the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State government.
Susie, nne ma hogi bu somma. Ọ dị ka inwetala ọrụ n'oil company.
You see nwanne m mbadu udo onwekwa ọrụ oil company m nwetara. Ihe hụrụ m na-amụke ụkwụ aka ọrụ OKOBI.
Ele nke ụkwa OKOBI. Ike otupenye m azụ. Ahụ shele m anya. Ahụ m chọrọ enyemaka.
Ya bụ na ịnụbeghị maka OKOBI. Ngwa gee ntị. OKOBI wa atụmatụ ọma gọọmenti hiwere iji kpochapụ ụbịam na-akpụ ndị mmadụ isi aghara aghara. OKOBI ga-ekewapụta ohere ọrụ maka gị maka ọha obodo gị niile. Naanị legharịa anya gburugburu gị. Chepụta nnọọ ihe ọbụla gị na ụmụnne na ụmụnna gị ndị enyi ma ọ bụ ndị obodo gị nwere ike ịgbakọta aka mepụta ya mma dịka ịzụ ọkụkọ, azụ, oke bekee, ịkọ painiapụl, ịsụ mmanụ nkwụ ma ọ bụ mmanụ aṅụ na ọtụtụ ihe ndị ọzọ dị iche iche. Unu hazichi usoro eji eme ya ka ọ bụrụ ihe ga-amịpụta ego. Unu agbapụzie ya ọsọ gaa kpọtụrụ onye ji ọkwa Chief Economic Advisor n'ọchịchị steeti Imo. Ọ ga-agbazi unu olu nye unu ntụziaka hazie ụkpụrụ a ga-eji mee ya ka ọ kwụsị ike ma mịta ezi mkpụrụ. Ọ ga-enyekwa aka n'ikewapụta ohere ọrụ nye ndị na-achọ ọrụ n'obodo.
Biko nye m akara ekwentị ha ka m kpọọ ahụ ozugbo.
Ngwa were ihe dedata ya 07013512035 07013512035 maọbụ 09114360076 09114360076. Ịkpọrọ ha ị ga-enweta ọsịsa maka ihe niile gbasara OKOBI. OKOBI wa atụmatụ bụ ịgba Shared Prosperity Government nke Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma.
OKOBI ụmụnna wike ọwụ ha agha.
Okay, welcome back. Let me move straight to Francisca. Maybe you want to say hello to the audience and explain what your organization does.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Ndewo.
Ndewo.
My name is Francisca Ikonu. I work at the Center for Social Awareness, Advocacy and Ethics, CSAAE. It's a non-profit organization that inspires and supports communities to initiate and grow various business enterprises that are in areas of market demand. So for us at CSAAE, I mean, we've worked with the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor for a while, and we're really proud of all the work that Professor Amishi has been able to do with helping enterprise development in it. So we have a team of consultants at C Enterprise, the arm of our organization that supports business development and stimulates economic development also in communities. So where we come in everything here is to help communities to get business ideas and launch out those business ideas. So you know that not every idea that is thought of is actually a profitable business venture. And if you listen very carefully when the criteria for joining OKOBI was mentioned by Mrs. Ada, you would hear that one of the important things to note is that the business must be profitable. So for us, our own work is to ensure that we help you come up with great ideas in your various communities based on what is prevalent in your community. So naturally growing agricultural plants in your community. Do you have some specific advantage that has been created by nature or quite the kind of things in this cedar community be interested in? So our consultants will come in to fine-tune your ideas to even help you select the best ideas that will be profitable for your business in that community, and to ensure that we guide you through the steps of starting that business. Because for most people joining OKOBI at this time, and for most communities that are coming together, they don't have these businesses already existing, but they want to come together to be able to do something that is profitable to all of them and can also help improve the socioeconomic standing of their community. So our own consultants at C Enterprise of CSAE come in to help you with the ideation, bringing out the ideas, fine-tuning the ideas, developing the business strategies, and then hand-holding you to be able to launch the businesses. We also fine-tune your ideas with value chain development. So, sometimes the traditional agricultural farming, and that's farming your produce, harvesting and selling, sometimes it's not even exactly where all the money is. Take, for instance, like oil palm, that's palm oil. So people around the Keduru region have a lot of palm oil or palm, but a lot of companies that produce skincare products, that produce hair care products need the oil. They need it, so they take it into industrial machines and then convert it to all these beauty care products that people use. And most people are ego na nazu cream, ego na nazu pomade and all of that. So even beyond just dwelling on milling palm oil and selling it for food purposes, our team will help you to be able to extract other agricultural value chains. Even the shaft that comes out of palm oil, of the palm nuts, has other value chains. There are people that are looking for even palm kernel, because they are using the oil from palm kernel to make a lot of drugs, make a lot of skincare products and all of that.
So Francisca, just hold on there a minute. Thanks for the kind comment. But if, let's assume now my community may invite, or a group, it doesn't necessarily need to be community, but it's also good to say communities, case where state-owned enterprises, Imo State where Concord Hotel, for example, Nigeria where NNPC, the petroleum company, a village can also own a company. That's what, or a business. That's what we are saying there. So I'm from Umuriamimo. So Umuriamimo can say they want to start a business, right?
Yeah.
So what is the process? What do I need to do? So I may be there thinking that, okay, I want to go into cassava, but I don't know how to organize myself. When do I need to bring you on board? When do I need to reach out to you to say, come and help us? And what is that engagement process like?
Okay, thank you, Prof. So if you have an idea that you want to go into a particular business, once you have that idea, that's the best time to contact us. So we come in to hear your idea, hear how that business, you want to do it, right? So we will organize like an ideation event to hear all the persons that want to be involved in that business, what they think about how they want to run the business. Then we'll fine-tune it. Then we'll proceed to organizing training. We have to build your skills in that particular area. So maybe not everyone on that team knows about cassava farming. We will teach you about cassava farming and how to do cassava farming profitably. After that, we'll also support you in the formalization processes, just like the baristas have spoken about. So business registration, we'll tell you the best kind of registration that will work for you, guide you through putting together all your documentations to submit it to CAC, to have CAC approve your business name. Also with the run-ins, the governance structure of your business, so who does what. We'll also ensure to link you to the bank, like Lady Bia has just mentioned, to open your bank account, get all those required documentations. We'll also teach you like the pitfalls to avoid in business. So there are a lot of modules we have to teach you how to price and cost your business, the products you're
hold on again.
providing.
Remember, some of the people in our target villages may not be right? So how do you also ensure that no one is left behind? Okay, so equal ideation and all sort of things. And when you get working at that, when they get me, has to or they just need help, even to organize their ideas and the hand holding in a book. So how do you break it down to the point that the average person will connect, and how long does the process take?
Okay, Prof. So what ideation simply means is sitting down with them. So we'll come to your community, or your wherever the group is. We'll sit with everyone who wants to be part of that business, and we'll listen to the ideas they have. Now, if you don't have ideas, we will listen to what you have been able to do in the past, and to also the things that you are interested in. By listening to all these things around that's the things you can do, Ihi Mareme or Ihi Mutara before, we can suggest and profile the best businesses that all of them can go into, bearing in mind their individual strengths. Because in running a business, it's important to make sure that everyone who is part of that cooperative can contribute. So we'll leverage on the strengths of each person, Ihone Mareme, na that group, and then suggest the best businesses, and not just businesses that the people want to also do, but you may want to do a business, and through our own eyes and experience supporting businesses, we know that that business will not thrive in your location. We will also suggest other types of businesses that will thrive and work in your location.
Okay, let me bring Professor Juden Zak. Prof.
Thank you, Prof. Yeah. Francisca, I know that your organization is non-profit making. The work you're doing is great. Do you charge any fee for your consultancy work, or is it all this free to put together the wonderful package for OKOBI members?
Okay, thank you, Prof. So we charge consultancy fees, right? But those consultancy fees go towards the logistics of putting our consultants together, right? And bringing them to be able to prefer the continuous solutions to these various groups of businesses. So because of our relationship with OKOBI, we've also consider the fact that these are not large-scale businesses. Most of these businesses are actually going to start out as small businesses, so we cannot charge them over the board. I cannot mention right now a specific amount, but it will also be treated on a case-by-case basis. Because the important thing in running a business is that the persons in the business must understand that they have to be able to put in their resources. So we will not expect people who want to start a business to, first of all, depend just on the funding that they will get from Imo Microfinance Bank. They need to be able to bring up both monetary and non-monetary resources that they can use to start that business. So they also, in business, you also have to treat whatever money you invest in, the founder's capital, as a loan to the business.
Okay, so I mean, Francisca, yeah, we have again more time to discuss. I think yeah. What Prof might be asking is, so if a village is listening to you now, they want to invite you. I know how much will it cost? You don't know. Oh,
No,
not that you
Prof, I
don't know, but
cannot
it's something.
state an amount right
Yes,
now. It is going to be treated on a case-by-case
fine.
basis.
And then I'm
But
also
what I can
thinking,
assure you is that it's not going to be anything that the village persons cannot afford or the persons who are in the business cannot afford.
or you can also get some of their prominent village members
Yes,
to pay for them. So
philanthropist, yes.
yeah, let me bring in Honorable Madonna Debere, PhD, to come in here. Who knows? He may also have some solutions to the funding side of things.
Yeah.
Honorable, over to you. Oh, has he disappeared? Okay.
Prof, ndewo.
Ndewo da.
Biko akemawo ịjụ ajụjụ ma o ime contribution n'ihe unu na-ekwu ihe na o teela anyị jiri bidoro mewa contribution. Anụ m na-ege ege kemgbe unu bidoro. I'm very much fulfilled that OKOBI enweela a very strong base as of today n'Imo State. Anyị bidoro ya with you through your office. Ya dịka ọwụ ihe egwuregwu na-agakwa. But today, I want to unequivocally and all humility to thank the governor of Imo State, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, for approving OKOBI to be a baseline and proficient initiative for every kindred in Imo State and for Imo State people. G has solved the problem of unemployment and youth races and other economic laden problems in our various communities. Si aka m kelee gọvanọ anyị ihe na ma o mere that pronouncement, o mere ihe niile ndị mmadụ jupụta n'obi aṅụrị, and our people are happy to have OKOBI as an initiative that have already kickstarted in Imo State. So ma ekelekwa gị onwe ke gị Professor Amechiwo onye nke esiri through his as the Chief Economic Advisor na-ewetara ndị Imo ihe ọma, ihe nrite a ga-abawanye na all our kindreds. Na-ekelekwa Professor Jude Nzako, na-ekelekwa Jovit Agwụ na ndị ọrụ gị niile. Agakwa m echefu m onwe ke nkwa because amakwa m na etinyekwala m so many contribution na ihe gbasara OKOBI. So ọ ka m gị okay, aha m McDonald Ebere, PhD, ahụ m onye amawo m Owerri, n'Owerri Municipal. Akwanụ m the present APC State Chairman Imo State, nke na-achịkọta ndị political party nke a na-akpọ All Progressive Congress nọ n'Imo State. Mụ onwe m nọ n'isi ya, and the leader of the party wụkwanụ gọvanọ anyị wụ distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma. So ekelela m onye ọbụla, kelee ndị Imo si ya bikonu unu jisi ike na ihe gbasara OKOBI a, ihe ga-enyere anyị aka. Ama onwe m kwadoro ya, pati m kwadokwara, and ndị politicians anyị kwadokwara ya. Anyị ga na-aga n'ihu. Prof, jisi ike nga iji. Ndewo no.
Ndewo. Thanks a lot for that, and you have been very supportive.
My chairman, ndewo, go.
Okay, so that's the
Prof, ndewo.
Yeah, that's the support we've always received from your office, and it's also good to emphasize that OKOBI a political thing. It's something that goes across, and Governor Mekwenea clearly all we hear from Imo State, and when any party coloration, or one here retired to the governor's term, and when they juju say Governor for Okwanechi, you know, continue. You know how that if you start a business today now your kindred or your community, if the governor leaves when he leaves, will he come to your village and take that business from you? So here we have governor but it's giving us a platform, and it's also articulating the support the state will give to OKOBI businesses. But our state got solve a trying problem in OKOBI, because we need to take OKOBI as our own and show that commitment. Otherwise, ya wurukwa ihe government lemekwa anya dịka ihe government enwere ike otu ekwuru na government ga-enye aka. Some people are nature so ụzọ a ga-esi nweta national cake ọwụkwa ihe anyị kwuga here. You support government ga-enye to the point that would enable individuals and groups to start something that will work for them. So here a good thing, and we thank the governor for giving it the state backing. And we're also looking towards other ways of helping OKOBI businesses. We are glad to say that some companies have shown interest through their corporate social responsibility to support. Some international development agencies are coming forward. And so if you want your community to benefit from this, just provide the necessary structure. Come up with good ideas. We promise you that we'll help you create a market for your ideas. Nobody, ego is the last thing here, because good ideas would always sell. So that, in a way, summarizes where we are. We are happy at the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor that OKOBI has gained this level of traction. And people in Imo State, those outside Imo State, are reaching out and seeing this as a form of innovation. And the challenge for us, or the task before us all now, is to see how we can convert this into a movement. So let us keep pushing and working hard. Government can solve all our problems. We also need to be part of the solution we want to see. So let me stop here and thank our panelists, Barrister Ohaji, Barrister Uzoma, Lady B, Francisca, Adeze Waka from the Office of the Chief Economic Advisor. Before I leave, Francisca, do you want to quickly leave a number in case somebody listening to us may want to come to you? Francisca, is there a number we can reach you on?
Yes, please reach us on 070-4600-7185.
Okay,
let me take it again. 070-4600-7185. Prof, just to say that I think everyone should just, if you have friends in your communities, your siblings, your brothers and sisters, you should just start thinking of an idea, because with the economy, the way the economy of Nigeria is, you need a business to be able to help improve your livelihood. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And that leaves me with the opportunity to thank my team members, Mrs. Jovita Agu, Ms. Adeza Shaheme, Ms. Adeza Waka, Fabian Anyango, and John. So thank you all for this, and see you next time. Bye-bye.